The cost of climate change on the plate is real. We've already had the conversations about wine, meat, seafood, produce. So what is the trickle-down effect to the restaurants? When we have floods in the cities, people don't come out. When there's fires and the cities are smoked out, people don't go out when the AQI is out of control. The variables we can deal with are increasing bills, increasing rent, employee costs. We have the ability to project for that, but we do not know how climate change is going to affect us month to month, week to week, day to day. That all affects the bottom line. This is Feast or Famine, Episode 5, Restaurants.
All right.
So what do you got to get today? How much are you getting?
A fair amount.
This is Lawrence Jossel, chef owner of Nopa and Nopa Fish. This is Kim Alter, chef owner of Nightbird and Lindenrub. Kim and Lawrence are different yet the same. Both of these chefs have built their restaurants around buying and sourcing locally and really putting care and thought into everything that goes on the plate. What's different about them? Their restaurants are completely different styles. One is an a la carte menu, and that's Lawrence's Nopa, whereas Chef Kim's Nightbird is a multi-course tasting menu. Same ethos, same thought process, just different methodology of getting it on the plate. Food systems are just getting obliterated. What are you guys seeing that are affecting your final product that you're getting on the regular?
Fish is an obvious one. You know, fish is a big deal. We just opened a fish place, so I'm more attuned to that at the moment. Salmon, the best fish in the world, is unavailable to us now.
That's what, 3 years now it's been closed. 3 years.
And looking forward, I'm not feeling super hopeful about it.
And that's forcing the hand on aqua, culture.
It is. Yeah.
Which has its own impacts.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
You know, because you need 2 or 3 or 4 or in some cases 25 times the protein to create a pound of protein. We're talking about these big fish in Baja.
I don't think people realize that when they think about farm fishing, like how much it takes to actually create that. It's changed them too. The flesh, like everything has changed. It's sometimes a crapshoot. I kind of stay away from fish sometimes.
I mean, they're not just feeding them fish meal.
You buy that gorgeous looking fatty piece of farm salmon that for some reason everybody loves. It's just fed chicken. What's happening to the bait fish? Oceans are warming, they're being caught, they're in a down cycle, all of the above. Doesn't stop aquaculture from going, we need a cheap protein to feed these fish and get them to size as fast as possible. And it's not the poultry that you and I want to eat, obviously.
No, it's all the ground up bones or the ugly bits. And
our doctors tell us to eat more fish. They want us to eat that algae that the fish in theory ate by eating a smaller fish that ate a smaller fish that ate that algae. But when you test all of these conventional farmed fish in a lab to see what's in there, mercury levels through the roof, PCBs through the roof, heavy metals through the roof, because it's all bioaccumulating from what they're being fed. As we're using cheaper and cheaper protein to farm fish, all those things that our doctors are telling us to eat, they're not there. They're just not there.
Like, do you remember when it used to be like sardine season, boom, we would get fresh sardines and they were awesome. Herring.
Yep.
All of those things have
right out of the bay.
Right out of the bay. Yeah. They would literally spawn right under the bridge. All of those things have shifted away due to water temperatures. So how do we get that system to recover?
A delicious algae tasting menu.
Plankton, actually,
The fisheries are changing. There are closures, and where there aren't closures, things are just starting to take more effort. And so it's just going to take more to get those species that have become a fixture in the North American diet, the North American palate. And as these things continue to change, but eventually we're going to have to rethink our relationship with seafoods. And that might be a broader range of seafood products. It might be a smaller volume of particular seafood products, or becoming accustomed to paying higher prices for some seafood products. And I think broadening our palates is a really good first step to do that.
The other thing that's been really one of the interesting conversations I've been having is about how people have adjusted the way they do business due to climate change. In talking with John Finger at Hog Island, they're now having to develop a whole new species of oyster to manage the increase in acidity and temperatures of the water.
We just invested over $5 million up in Humboldt Bay for a hatchery so that we could breed animals that can handle this faster, because it's changing more rapidly than we even thought.
So you're having to change and rebreed a species that can handle the change in the ocean.
Sure, because what you're concerned about as a biologist is not absolute change, it's rate of change. And it's happening faster than we thought it was going to happen.
And it's not just the oceans. I mean, the ranchers are talking to me too, because feed, obviously it's very expensive, and farmers are changing how they farm.
We are in the business now of turning things over as quickly as possible, because if we have a window to get another succession in, get another crop in the ground, we're gonna take it. It's weather pressure, it's economic pressure, there's just always pressure to move as fast as we can, get things in, get things out, get as much sold as possible on the slimmest of margins. So we started farming more in the winter in these high tunnels.
That's cool.
You know, people talk about season extension measures. This is a way for us to keep farming beds that we can turn over and do multiple successions.
As you are buying and you're going to the markets and you're talking to your farmers and your ranchers and your fishermen, what are you seeing from them and what are you hearing from them?
The biggest thing for me, and I'm imagining it for you as well, is just the cost of stuff has just gone crazy. You know, from the $1 a pound potato to the $6 a pound potato. And people assume that because we show up with a truck and a big tote that we're gonna get this stellar deal. We pay the same prices as everybody else. We have a $30 burger. It's a $29 burger.
29.
And that's not because of the bacon that we smoke. It's not because of the buns that we make. It's because of the beef. It's expensive to put food on a table.
When you're doing it the right way.
When you're doing it the right way. But there's no better.
When you see the comparison of improperly raised beef, there's a flavor difference.
Yep.
And there's also, you can look yourself in the mirror.
Yep.
Do you get backlash from your guests?
So in 2019, we sold 28,000 burgers at Nopa. That was 110 a day, you know? And now we're 50, 57.
Really?
Yeah, it's gone down a lot.
Yeah, but I think there's something to be said for that, right? Like when you put the quality up front, one, you have to pay for it, right? Because that's just the nature of doing business. But also as a guest, if you want something that's delicious, you get what you pay for.
The perception of value is so different from a guest. Like, we're one of the cheapest tasting menus in San Francisco, and we're $195. And we're like almost 15 courses, everything's from a farm. But like, they just want more, like, for the price. So we have had to change our experience with our staff, with the story behind everything, with so many different things outside of just cooking now, because we need to give more of that to make people's perception of value change.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And a lot of it comes from the price because of all the factors that are coming into every little piece that's on the plate.
Everyone wants to talk about the prices at the grocery store. Everyone wants to talk about the price of eggs. We're not talking about how the increased costs that we see also affect farmers, also affect those businesses. And there has to be a place for that cost to be passed on, and it's going to end up with the consumer. And we need to open ourselves up to spending more of our dollars on what really nourishes us, even if that means displacing
dollars from other things. Doing it the right way, making that choice to buy properly, really affects the bottom line, right? It affects the cost of goods on the plate, and it affects the customer, what they're paying. And there's going to become a point when the customer can't afford that number.
Mm-hmm.
What is that breaking point?
We're kind of in that moment, I think, almost right now. I look at my costs consistently, and I lately have been looking at 2024 to 2025, and my costs are 20% higher. My sales are 20% lower, but people are coming in are 10% more. It's very weird. Like, people aren't spending as much money because they still want experiences, they still want to do good things,
Right.
they want these food, but they're not. And we are still trying to go to the same farms, but then the farmers are having the problems with rain, with fires, with their land. I know 2 farmers who just got kicked off their land, and it's really rough.
How do we make it so we can afford to give a lower cost item to our guests without sacrificing the quality and our beliefs?
Obviously, we want to make money. We have
it's
a
a
business,
business.
but we're not charging all this and making like 50% profit. It is not happening at all. Most people, I don't think.
From what I'm understanding right now, the average within the city to the bottom line is around 3%.
That would be awesome.
I mean,
To be realistic, that would be awesome.
That 3%.
Which is very sad, right? Essentially, we run a nonprofit, which is admirable, unless you're not supposed to be a nonprofit. The bottom line is tiny. It's just the way it is, you know? It's always been slim, but now more than ever.
it's like we are taking a cut to our profit to continue to do these things because we care and we want to fix things.
10 years ago, I had so many chefs that demanded accountability from me. They wanted me to prove that this fish came from this source. Now no one gives a damn. And that's why when you go up and down this pier, you see styrofoam boxes with fish being shipped in from God knows where, being misidentified from a storytelling point of view, right? It's caught by a small fisherman out of the Philippines. How do you know that? Really? It came off the auction block is where that fish came from. You look at so many menus and there's not a single fish, not only not from California, but not even domestic, right? The amount of seafood we are importing it's just obscene. Think about an anchovy that's caught in Peru, then taken to a plant to produce fish oil and fish meal. Then that pellet is shipped to Scotland to farm a fish. Then that fish is shipped to San Francisco to go on a menu. That fish took a vacation of a lifetime. Why is that necessary?
Because it's the same thing with produce, right? It's because it's people's need or demand to have what they want all the time.
All the time, yeah.
So the word seasonal may have changed.
Our seasons keep stretching.
They're elongating. Those seasons are elongating for things like strawberries, but they're getting shorter for other things.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm seeing flavor differences in a lot of things, right? Like chicories are now coming, but they're not as bitter as they used to be because it isn't as cold at night. Like all these little bits I'm noticing are changing.
What is now called summer, right? Used to be September, then it got pushed to October, and I swear to God, now summer is November. It feels like to me. I got tomatoes for an event that I did a few days ago at the market on Saturday from
Right.
4 different farmers because I gave a little bit of love to every kind of farmer. I didn't just get
Mid-November.
Mid-November,
And-
which is the latest I've had tomatoes on my menu.
But that shows you that the temperature
Yeah.
is rising.
The growing season, as an example, it's shifting. It's less predictable. You know, it used to be that if somebody were an agriculturalist, they probably had a pretty good idea of when it was best to put things in the ground and when it was best to reap those products. And that's changing now, and people stand to lose profit. They stand to potentially, unfortunately, lose their livelihood. And it's really going to impact how we interact nutritionally, gastronomically, with our world.
And we hear things about like, you know, late rain or early rains that pit fruit, right? We hear about
They don't call it rain anymore, do they? Don't they call it atmospheric river?
Oh, the atmospheric river is the
Right.
new thing. You hear
Right.
these terms,
And then they won't
then
pay
the cancellations
fee.
start coming
Yeah.
in. And they don't want to pay their cancellation fees. They
Yeah.
don't want to reshift their reservations to another day because they're uncertain if there's going to be another atmospheric river.
When you talk about consistency, there's just no consistency anymore in anything. I can't look at any weekday, month, and understand where I should be or will be because we don't know.
People now call August to end of October fire season.
Yeah.
That's really not a season that I ever wanted to be a part of.
No, and then we wipe our brow. Whew, wasn't so heavy this year.
In California, wildfire is a huge concern. It can ruin the crop almost immediately. And it changes the environment in the area where it happens too, right? It can bake the soil and it removes all the trees, so the shade, so it increases the heat the following year in the area because you have more radiation just hitting the ground, and the animals are gone and the ecosystem changes fundamentally.
We've had massive fires. In the last 5 years, it's been astronomical. But then we're spraying fire suppressant, which I'm not saying is unnecessary. It was necessary. It needed to happen. But what happens with the said fire suppressant? It gets into the runoff and heads down into the delta. What is considered some of the best growing land in California. And that's the same thing that happens up here. We had all the fires in Napa. They put all that suppressant on there. Is that getting into the wines?
From a soil perspective, yeah. I mean, it's a lot easier to deal with the grapes that on an annual basis, you can say, well, it's not an easy thing to do from a financial perspective, but it's an easy thing to say, well, these are fucked. Okay, unending amounts of money, we'll make some more next year, we can try again. But well, what about these vines in this soil that are going to grow these grapes next year? Is there something in there too that's going to be a much slower acting situation? I think that that's a really good question, that we haven't been in this situation long enough to authoritatively say this is what it's going to do in all these different areas.
Well, I mean, I've done terroir tastings before, like soil tastings. You can tell the difference in the soil from the way it smells, from how things grow. So it's completely changing the DNA basically of everything, and it's going to affect how everything will be years down the road because of a fire, a flood that's washing away nutrients and the flavor of the terroir of these areas. And it's hard because I know that not to get Portlandia, but do decide based on the terroir as to what I'm using from which farm.
But it's creating bigger issues. The more the fires, the more the runoff. The topsoil is being blown away, right? It's being blown away in the summer with the winds, and then it's washing away as the snow melts up in the Sierras and when the rains come. That is soil that we run on, we ride bikes on, we ski on in the winter. That ends up becoming part of where all the food is grown, but also at a certain point, we're going to wash away all that topsoil.
Typically, we don't get these massive atmospheric river storms immediately after fires, which have started to happen later in the year. Like the Thomas fire was 2018, but it started late December and it went through to February. That's rainy season. We don't typically see those two overlap. And so now that we're seeing that, you're getting the same story everywhere. You're getting Santa Barbara, wildfire, rains, soil loss. You're getting Palisades fire, wildfire, rain, soil loss. And then you go to, say, like 2018, when you had the Thomas fire, you had these mega fires across California. That was 7 million metric tons of soil that got lost. I mean, there's really not that many years of soil left. You know that from anyone in the farming community. And so when you have these massive fire years, you're screwed.
World Central just came on Monday and recruited like 20 of us to become corp chefs for pretty much the fires, like getting prepared to be able to serve the communities that get evacuated, which I think all of us have cooked for before.
So now we're being proactive rather than reactive.
Exactly.
That's scary.
We're now disaster feeders. That's a big change. We were really, what we all started as was we gave taste memories.
It's just part of who we are as chefs now, is preparing for those disasters because of climate. Yeah.
So thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
It's always awesome being around you guys and being in this pretty space.
I'm sure this conversation is pretty hard to choke down, but I want to assure you, there are chefs out there that are working hard to do the right thing. They go to farmers markets, they talk directly with their fishermen, their ranchers, the winemakers. They are working hard to make sure that they're buying properly. Proper animal husbandry, proper land stewardship, proper fishing techniques. Those things affect climate change. They also affect flavor. We want delicious on the plate. And the more we buy with that thought process and ethos, the better tasting food we have for you as our guests. Make sure that you support these restaurants. When you support these people doing the right thing, your dollar's going to the right place. Every dollar has an impact on climate. Make sure yours is a positive one and a delicious one. I'd like to give a shout out to Protect Our Winters, 11th Hour Racing, and Athletic Brewing for their support and belief in this project. Make sure you subscribe and like, share with your friends, buy local, buy smart. Thank you.